Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak the Bag Show, which we have picked up again. Yesterday was the first show after the break, and we killed it. Well, mostly you killed it. Mostly you killed it. I had a profitable day, but you killed it, Jimmy the Bag. You killed it. You had you had one puck line loser in NHL and 3 puck line winners, and you went 4-1 in NBA. Those were minus 110 lines. No. 2 of them were big money line winners. The other 3 were minus 110 lines. You were up like 7 units yesterday. I had a standard day, 6-4 college basketball, very nice, up 1.7 units. And then I took a bunch of shots with a bunch of overs in NHL and wound up positive 0.2 of a unit. And I had 2 plays in NBA, and I wound up splitting them negative 0.2 of a unit. Didn't follow my gut on going. I went once again. It's like every time I have a good read on a game and I don't follow my gut, I doubled up on the New Orleans under, which both lost, but I didn't double up on the Knicks game, which was an easy under, and I only went one way on that one. Right, Jim?
Yeah. I think you need to go with all of your leans because your leans are so strong.
Yeah, the problem is just leans are less good, and then if you eat a couple losses in the short term, it's tough to go with leans. But the point is, the show's back, better than ever. We both coming off of positive days. Jimmy the Bag killed it. Yesterday's haters, suck it. Suck it, haters. Although we still love you and we like you to keep watching. But yeah, it was a very nice day. And to all the regular viewers of the show and supporters of the show, I can't say it enough. We love you. Is that accurate, Jimmy the Bag?
Oh, we love you. We love capping with you. This isn't just yesterday was us working together.
That's right.
I just got to leave the fucking Cavaliers alone, man. I just can't figure them out.
That's right. So right now, I just brought up the pop-up chat, and I guess the public has spoken as far as what they think of this show. We have 21 likes, which is nice. 184 dislikes. And
we had 184 dislikes on this show yesterday.
Yeah.
But Minnesota Man Aspire to a Light just popped $2.
Very nice, very nice.
He's very happy about
the likes are going up, though, so someone's buying likes very slowly. It's now at 25 likes. And the dislikes are at 185 now. So the likes are at 186, 27. So that tells me that this show started off massively sucking, but is sucking a little bit less as the seconds tick on because the ratio is improving as far as likes to dislikes. 185 dislikes, but 29 likes, 34 likes, which is like 20 more likes than yesterday. So someone's really breaking out the big bucks to buy some likes for us, which is really nice. I appreciate that, right?
It's nonsense. One guy buying dislikes, but we shouldn't focus on the negative.
That's right.
We had a great start back at the show, and I've got 23 minutes to get in my Creighton pick.
Oh, I'm not focusing on the negative. I'm focusing on where the opportunities for jokes are, Jim. Big difference.
No, I feel you.
Yes,
I feel you.
Yes. All right. Okay. So let's get into it. College basketball. Let's start out. I have, of course, I will review all the picks, but all of my picks in college basketball, of course, I already tweeted them out. I locked in some lines. Most of those lines don't move, but some of them do. And I lock them in. If they move against me, then fine, I eat that. As of right now, Jim, overall my record college basketball: 148 wins, 102 losses, plus 36.9 units, plus 12.4% ROI over 250 picks. All right, so
that's awesome.
These are the picks. Look, this could go south at any time. I have, and any given day, I'm not like, yes, these are definitely winning positive EV picks. I'm like, I think they are. I thought they were yesterday. Yesterday turned out okay. I think these are, but I could easily go 4-15 with these picks. All right, so this is what I tweeted out. St. Peter's Fairfield, first half under 63.5 and the full game under 136.5. Sometimes early in the season, these teams you expect to be very low scoring can out of nowhere have a game that goes into the 160s. And if that does, I'll just shrug my shoulders and eat the losses. But I did take 2 picks there. I took Valparaiso, Indiana State, first half over 65.5 and the full game over 140.5. Again, the Houston, South Florida game, similar to the St. Pete's Fairfield game. South Florida hopefully will play lockdown defense and keep it low scoring. I took the under 138 on that one. And I also took South Florida first half plus 8.5 and the full game plus 15. Now, Houston is a much better team, obviously, but, Houston's coming off a big win against Providence, where Providence had a bunch of guys banged up. You know what I'm saying? So Houston, a great team. They shoot great from 3, and if they, are knocking down their threes here, then they will, probably cover even a big road spread. But South Florida is strong defensively from the 3-point line, and if they can contain them at least somewhat from the 3-point line, they should should be able to cover a big home spread. So South Florida, first half plus 8.5, and the full game 15. Eastern Kentucky, Jacksonville State, first half over 62.5, and the full game over 134.5. Just thought those totals were a little bit low. Eastern Kentucky, first half plus 6.5, and the full game plus 12. I gave both of those. Just think that Eastern Kentucky is not as much worse than Jacksonville State as the market is giving credit for. And if you noticed yesterday, Jimmy the Bag, I was 6-4, which is fine, plus 1.7 units. But my two big underdogs, Eastern Michigan and Florida Gulf Coast, both covered the first halves and didn't cover the full game. So I ate two losses. And as I was giving the picks, I was like, of course I should be giving them on the first halves as well. But I was like, I don't know if I want to double up. And I got bit there. That's why I give a lot of first halves and full games, because college basketball is so unpredictable, and there's really, in my experience, there's really no way to tell when a team is going to show up in the first half or not, as opposed to any other time. So.
Yeah.
All right, going on. I have to just list all the picks that I already tweeted out. Montana, Northern Arizona, first half over 67 and the full game over 142. I tweeted out Louisiana Tech, Western Kentucky under 148.5. Detroit, Wisconsin, Green Bay, first half over 79. Both those teams are teams that love to play no defense, and if that happens, then that one should go into the 80s in the first half. Monmouth, Quinnipiac, first half over 70. Oakland, first half up minus a half. Sometimes at this point in the year, these small road favorites can be very tricky and very trappy. But in this situation, I think that Wisconsin-Milwaukee is a weak team, a very beatable team. And if you look at how their past games have done, some of their wins have gone against some teams that were a lot worse than they were thought to be at the beginning of the year. So I took Oakland first half minus a half, and I should probably pull them on the full game as well. Tennessee State, Tennessee Martin, first half over 61. The Tulane Temple game, I did throw on the under. That was a very borderline play for me. I've had a couple of full game unders losses where like the first half went comfortably over and it was looking like it was going over until like the last 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden they score 30 points in the last 2 minutes and the game soars over. You know what I'm talking about there, Jim.
Definitely.
This game has that written all over it. It has like a first half under and a pace to get to like 125 until like the 2 minute mark. And then they scored 35 points in the last 2 minutes, and it goes like way over. But I took the under 149.5. I also took Southern Utah first half minus a half, and the full game minus 1.5. I caught that one late. Southern Utah 8-1 against the spread ATS so far, and that is not necessarily likely to continue. But I like the team that they're going up against. I think they're very beatable, and I think we're probably more likely not to see another nice cover by Southern Utah. And then I took Bradley Drake first half over 65 minus 115. And that's it. I did not handicap any of the games from 9 o'clock on. Those games, if I have any plays on those that I really want to give, which I had yesterday, which I didn't tweet out, it was the over in that friggin' San Jose State game. That was another winner that I just left on the table because at the last minute I was like, but what if it loses? So I won't tweet it out. But I should have. And if I see any, I'll try to have some more balls and tweet them out. But those are all the plays in college basketball that I have tweeted out. Now I'll hand it over to Jimmy the Bag. What, if any, do you want to add from the college basketball card today, Jimmy?
Well, I did get one locked with you earlier, but before I do that, I only have 18 minutes till Creighton starts. Sure. I'm taking Creighton on the full game.
Okay.
Marcus Foster was just named the Big East Player of the Week. In just 25 minutes, average of 25 minutes, he had 24 points, 4.5 boards, 3.5 assists, 2 steals, went 18 from 27 from the field, 7 from 12 from 3, 30 straight games scoring in double figures, longest streak in the Big East. Him and Kyrie Thomas provide one of the best backcourts in the nation. Mitch Ballock was a freshman of the week. Creighton's averaging 92.3 points, hitting 52% from the field, 40% from 3. And for a team without a ton of size, they own a plus 7.6 rebound margin. Seton Hall's won 7 of 8. I like getting plus 5.5 against them. Kadeem Carrington has made a successful transition to point guard. Desi Rodriguez is great, obviously, 6'6", 17.9 points. But we have guys on the Blue Jays that can defend him. And then preseason All-American senior Angel Delgado will be difficult. But I like the spot. I like the 5.5, and I'm going to take it.
I'll tell you, I was looking at that game, and I was my first lean was totally agreeing with you. And then I was like, well, why the hell is this line where it is, and why is it moving where it is? And it opened at 4. It's now up to 5 or 5.5. I was thinking that's got to be Creighton's got to be the play here.
I think Creighton has to be the play here. Seton Hall's a very good team, and I don't mean this, intimate that they're not.
Sure.
But I just really like Marcus Foster. I really like the way Creighton's been playing of late. Ever since that bad loss to Gonzaga, they've really stepped it up. And I like the points, and I'm going to take the points.
All right, so right now the best line is 5.5, minus 106 at Pinnacle. It appears to be headed up, which is interesting. I'm going to stay off it just because the line movement is very fishy. That's right. And you also locked in Valpo early on at Pick'em minus 106. And I actually told you you could have had +1 minus 115 if you would prefer that. I will give you that.
No, the Pick'em minus 106 is what I would prefer.
Right. Okay.
Valpo's looked awful since Tevon Walker went down with mononucleosis. And then they lost their second leading scorer, Joe Burton. He's been suspended for not meeting university academic standards. And they had a tremendously difficult 3 or 4 games. Tavon is back tonight, and he'll provide a huge boost. He hasn't played in a few weeks, so he's not going to be, he's not going to have his wind. But he is just going to provide a huge boost in the dressing room. Now, since dealing with these injuries, all 12 players on the roster have been seeing floor time. This will help in the long run. Indiana State, led by 5'11 sophomore Jordan Barnes, averages 17.1 points per game, has hit 49 of 100 threes this year. They're led on the boards by senior Brenton Scott and Kedar Davis. They're 6'1 and 6'5 respectively. Their biggest rotation player, 6'9 junior Edmondre Rickman, only plays 14.8 minutes a game. They're going to have a very difficult time with Valpo's height. And I like the spot. Valpo, Pick'em, minus 106, I like.
All right. Is that it for you for college basketball?
No, I am your lean. I'm on so heavily. I was breaking this down with my man Max, who's now here. He's on the live chat. He really liked Oakland today. I looked into Oakland and loved what I saw. They've dealt with a ton of injuries this year, and their bench has shrunk considerably. But this is a team that desperately needed Christmas break. Oakland's led by senior guard Kendrick Nunn, who's been battling injuries all year, played the last 3 games, averaging 23.5 points per game. 6'7 senior Jalen Hayes just put up 37 versus Eastern Michigan 6 days ago. Isaiah Brock has been out with a skin rash. He's questionable to play tonight. We're hoping he will play. He's been out 2 weeks. He probably went home at Christmas. Probably had his mom looking after him, taking care of that skin rash, come back, and actually he's 6'8". Oakland desperately needs his length.
Unless he comes from a broken home and he ain't got no mom.
Then his grandma, maybe his grandma.
Got no grandma.
Maybe somebody bathe him, please. Milwaukee's lost 3 of 4, and they can't take advantage of Oakland's lack of size. Leading scorer junior Brock Stull averages 14.3 points per game, and he's going to have his hands full with Kendrick Nunn. I like Oakland here a lot.
All right, so what do you want him? I took him the first half. That's an official pick, one at -0.5, minus 109. I decided to hold off on the full game for now, but what do you want him? First half, full game, what do you want him?
I'm just going to take him full game.
Okay, -1.5, and that will be minus 106 is the best line right now. Oakland -1.5, minus 106. Interesting that it opened at 3. And again, these small road favorites at this time of year can be trappy, but sometimes they cannot be. And I did look at this game, and I agree with you. I think that it's not trappy. I think Oakland has the edge here, mostly predicated on Milwaukee being that bad. All right, what else do you want to give us, Jim?
I have one final play, and I like it a lot, but I can imagine some people won't be into it. I am on Northern Arizona at home, double-digit dog. I really liked Northern Arizona when they played South Dakota State, and I took some flack for it. They were just down 3 points with 5 minutes left, down 5 points with 3 minutes left. Now, they played their whole entire roster. They were playing everybody to try and figure out a rotation. They now have a clear go-to guy, JoJo Anderson. He put up 26 6 days ago when they won at Jacksonville. They still don't have distributors, but they've trimmed down the rotation, and they have their leading rebounder, Brooks the Bishop, back, 6'9", 230-pounder. And they also have 6'9" junior Isaiah Thomas. They play well at home, well enough. And Montana is led by Ahmad Rory. He doesn't leave the floor. This guy, 37 minutes a game, 17.9 points, 4.3 boards, 3.7 assists. He's been eating turkey and stuffing for the last 4 or 5 days. They don't have a ball handler that can replace him. They have to run him into the ground. Montana's tallest players aren't in their rotation. I like the spot, and I'm going to take Northern Arizona full game.
That was actually my lean as well, Jim. Again, as you know, I gave the first half and the full game over on this one, and I will join you on that one. I will take that one as well. I will add that one to my official picks. Northern Arizona +11, minus 101. That's the current line at Pinnacle. I agree. Sometimes, a lot of times, also at this time of year, some of these teams that have looked really bad in the beginning of the year and then are big home underdogs in this time of year can have great betting value, and I will add that one as a pick. Northern Arizona +11, minus 101. -101. I'm on that one. Jimmy the Bag is on that one. And is that it for you, Jimmy the Bag?
Yes, those are my 4 plays. We had a lot of time breaking down the football bowl games, and I've got the whole NHL and basketball card, but that's the main plays.
All right, so why don't we do this? Why don't we move on from college basketball right now, just so that we can get to an NBA and NHL, but then maybe at about 6:40, 6:45 Eastern time, maybe we come back to college basketball. Once again, Jimmy the Bag is given 4 picks. Creighton +5.5, Valpo Pick'em -106, Oakland -1.5, and Northern Arizona +11 -101. I tweeted out about 20 or 25 plays, and I've just added Northern Arizona +11 -101 to my plays. All right, now let's move on to NBA, where Jimmy the Bag, do you know that since I gave that inspirational speech to you, that inspirational story, do you know what your record is in NBA since then?
No, what is it?
I made it. I put it up in the graphic. We'll see where it is. It's 31-12 plus 20.1 units plus 43.6% ROI. That is since I told the inspirational story. And it's interesting. I intended to tell the inspirational story one day, but we ran out of time, so I didn't tell it. And that day you had a bad day. And then it was the next day that I actually told the story. And it wasn't until I actually told the story, I think that was on December 9th, that you went on this run. Once again, since that inspirational story of handicapper redemption, Jimmy the Bag, and it was not only was an inspirational story, but specifically in reference to your NBA record.
Oh yeah, I was falling apart.
Jim's record is, since that story, 31 wins, 12 losses, plus 20.1 units, plus 43.6% ROI in the NBA. Great job, Jimmy the Bag. I'm treading water in NBA. I'm still down a few units. I would love to get back positive pretty soon. What do you like from today's card, Jim?
I found today's card difficult. We're dealing with a lot of injuries. I broke down and I've capped each game so we can talk about all of them. At this point, I just have one official pick, and I've already sent it in personally. I am taking the Celtics at home tonight as a very small dog. I believe they still are, unless something's changed recently. The 25-7 Rockets have lost 3 straight. Chris Paul is close to returning but won't be there tonight. Clint Capella will miss the next 2 games, and Luc Mbah a Moute will be out another 2 weeks. Those are 3 of their best defenders, maybe their 3 best defenders. Capella also leads the NBA in field goal percentage. He's averaging a double-double. These are extremely important players on this team that's so offensive. And that's why we saw Mbah a Moute completely shining. He had one game where he was plus 50-something points while he was on the floor. I just think these losses are too big to survive. Now, they can only hope if they shoot the lights out. And Eric Gordon is a streaky shooter. Even Harden is sort of streaky. Celtics are 6-6 over their last 12. They're coming off a big win at Charlotte without Jaylen Brown and Marcus Morris. Brown remains out, but Morris will play tonight. They outscored the Hornets 26-16 in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you watched that game. I did. And Jason Tatum was an absolute monster in that fourth quarter. I could not believe I was watching a 19-year-old on the floor. In the game, he had 18 points, 5 boards, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He scored 10 of his 18 in the fourth quarter. He's going to be unbelievable when he gets older and stronger. The Celtics team is so young. They're going to be good for a long, long time. And they're a dog at home. I think it's going to be a very close game. I'm not incredibly confident in it, but I like the spot.
See, I was looking at this and thinking, Houston, first of all, is Chris Paul in or out? He's out. He's out, right. Houston's off 3 straight up losses, right? So no matter who's in the lineup, they got to come in here looking for a big win, right?
Yeah, but they can't defend without these guys. It's not, their offense can still be great. They're still a good team. Aspire to Elite says he needs a pep talk from his erectile dysfunction.
That's a good line. That's funny. That's funny.
But I just think that I like this Rockets team very much. But it's clear that Capella, Mbah a Moute are extremely important players to this team. Now they've proven that they can win without Chris Paul, but they need defenders. And they don't have defenders. I'm going to take the Celtics on the money line. Now, we said last night, remember when I took the Mavericks, we said, but the Pacers just got beaten up badly. Aren't they going to want to come back hard? But
they did come back early.
They came back early, but they don't have the roster when they're dealing with these injuries. And that's all I'm saying. I bet you the Rockets come out really hard. Maybe the Rockets' first half could be a play. But they don't have the roster to defend. And I like the Celtics.
All right, so you want Boston on the money line. Best line right now is at the books that we use is at Pinnacle plus 111, money line plus 111, and then obviously it's still the Rockets here, and it's a very low total for a Rockets game. And Boston, went to about 214 recently with Washington. They went high scoring against Indiana. Do you think maybe the over might be a sneaky good play here? Or
what is the number at?
It's just 215 and a half. Let me find it. It's headed. Yeah, it's 215 and a half. Yeah.
Well, first off, almost everybody on the forum is against me. They're all on the Rockets, and okay. I understand the Rockets are a very good team, and the Celtics are 6-6 in their last 12.
Yeah.
I think that to beat the Rockets, the Celtics have to slow it down. But I've said that to you before, and I've been so wrong about the pace of the game. So I want you to go with your gut, not.
All right, no, I'm not gonna take the total on this one. I don't have a good read on it. One game I was thinking about. I put most of my time into MMA today and college basketball, so I didn't look at this card too hard. But Portland obviously has some serious issues at home, and I was thinking that at least in the first half or maybe the first quarter, Philly might be a play. What do you think, Jim?
I think that's interesting. Blazers have lost 6 straight at home. They're just 7-10 there. Lillard returns, though, after missing 2 games with a hamstring strain. He's 6th in the league, averaging 26.2 points per game, but he's just not distributing the ball well enough. The Blazers are 30th in the league with just 18.2 assists per game. Noah Vonleh is questionable with a finger injury. And then the Sixers have lost 10 of 13, but they're coming off that big win at New York on Christmas Day. Robert Covington is questionable with right knee soreness, and he's a big part of this team. And Justin Anderson is back from a shin injury, but he's not really gotten in the rotation yet. I see what you're seeing, and I like it, but I've had trouble with the Blazers so far this year. And actually, I've even had trouble with the Sixers as well, trying to figure out when Embiid's back isn't going to be hurting and when he can play a decent amount of time. What is the number that you'd be getting?
Well, the full game is about 2.5. It's headed down a little bit. They're even some 2. So the first half would be 1.5 or 1. First quarter is about a half, or actually intertops in a few places still have 1. So first quarter would be plus 1. First half would be plus 1.5.
Well, Talat Al-Tafi says, I love 76er tonight. Best play. Mr. Cloud Kick says, I like the under on 76ers. Brandon Cummings says, 76ers are 21-8-1 in their last 30 games versus the Northwest Division. Eric Sniffen says, 76ers with the points, boys, and negative on the T-Wolves. They'll come out flat. So a lot of guys are here liking the but Sean Thompson just came in and said Blazers.
Really? But no justification for it.
Sean, we need more.
Yeah.
We need more from you, pal.
All right, I'll think about that while we're analyzing the rest of the card. Jimmy the Bag, what else are you liking, if anything, from the NBA card today?
Well, the Spurs roster is completely healthy now for the first time all year, and they're playing a Knicks squad that clearly does not look good with Hardaway out. They just don't have a second scoring option. Teams are locking Porzingis down now, and I don't know if you're able to do that, consistently. But in the last 4 games, he's hitting just 34% from the field, 25% from 3, averaging just 15 points a game. Kawhi Leonard just had his best game since returning from his quad injury, put up 21 points in 26 minutes. Gasol has 3 straight double-doubles. I want to take the Spurs, and I just didn't know really how to handle it. At one point, I was just going to take them on the first half, but then -7 seemed, I was just uncomfortable with the number. -11. I mean, I'm sure that they beat up on this Knicks team, but as we know, Pop doesn't care about covering spreads and running up the score.
Right.
So I just didn't have the balls to make the play.
And we do see a lot of times when, like, the Spurs, they're a double-digit favorite. They might come out down at the half and then cover the second half spread by a mile, but still lose the full game ATS.
Oh,
see that a lot with the Spurs.
So many times. So James Ross says Spurs are 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games, playing on 1 day's rest, which is a great note. But Mr. Cloud Kick says, I think Knicks can cover double digits. Just saying. It's tough. I love the Spurs and can't wait to watch them as they're all together. But I don't feel extremely. They could win by 25. But I'm not. I don't have the balls to make the move. So I'm gonna lay off it, especially with I'm feeling really good with basketball, so I don't need to reach.
Yes, definitely. Someone made a comment. I forgot who was it. It's a revenge game for Portland. I don't understand why. Why would that be? Yeah, in November they went in Philadelphia and got blown out at Philly. That was like months ago. Why would they care so much about this game in particular?
They care about defending their home court, which has just been an absolute mess. I think that's the only thing they're really focused on. I don't really see the revenge side of it.
Yeah. All right. So what else do you like here, if anything, from the card, Jim?
I wanted to like the Pistons, but it's just with all these injuries, people coming in and out, the volatility skyrockets. Pistons just lost Reggie Jackson to a grade 3 ankle sprain, out 6 to 8 weeks. And he, is so streaky, but he got hurt in the third quarter of their win over the Pacers. He already had 13 assists in that game. Ish Smith takes over, and he's not a bad backup point guard, probably a good backup. Avery Bradley remains out with a groin injury. Pistons have won 5 of 6. Tobias Harris coming off 30-point performance, 7 and 8 from 3. 10 for 11 from the field. And then this Magic team is an absolute mess. They're 3-20 since November 3rd. They just lost Vucevic for 6 to 8 weeks. So Bismack Biyombo comes in to replace him. And I watched Biyombo a lot in Toronto, and he's a change of pace guy. He's not a guy you want out there for 35 minutes because he can't shoot and he can't stretch defenses. So Evan Fournier and Aaron Gordon are both likely going to be back. Their game time decisions, I believe they're both going to be back. And they're going to be an enormous help. And they need, I guarantee almost that Aaron Gordon will play because now Jonathan Isaac is not playing. So they don't have a backup. They don't have anybody to play the power forward position. And they're 1 and 8 in the 9 games with Aaron Gordon that he's missed this season. It's just there's so much volatility with all these ins and outs that I'm staying away from it.
All right. I was also thinking maybe, obviously, Minnesota is off of the back-to-back OT win, and Milwaukee's lost a couple games in a row. I was thinking that Milwaukee might be a good play here, at least early. What do you think about that, Jim?
Yeah, the Timberwolves are still an enigma to me. They're so bad in the fourth quarter. You almost want to wait and see how the game goes and make an in-play bet here. Bucks are coming off a 9-point loss to the Bulls. They turned the ball over 20 times. They've now lost 5 of 7. You're right. They need to come out fast. They rebound poorly. It continues to hold them back. They're ranked 30th in the league, averaging just 38.6 per game. And then we have these Wolves who are one of the worst fourth-quarter teams in the league, and they're having a great season. It's Jeff Teague is now sprained his knees out, but Tyus Jones has proved he's a suitable backup. In December, the Wolves are 9-4, and Butler's averaging 26 points on 50.5% from the field. The Wolves have won 4 straight on the road.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota, the problem thing about Minnesota is that they're suddenly winning and their losses are very close. Milwaukee's also turned into a dead over team recently. I'm going to take the first half over here. It's a 107, 107.5, or 108. Pinnacle has 108. Bookmaker has 107. I'll take the bookmaker line here. First half over 107 minus 110. What do you think about that, Jim?
I think that's a good spot. I like it. I'm going to keep a good eye on it. Here, Brendan Cummings has an interesting stat here. Wolves are 12-3-1 in their last 16 road games versus teams with a home winning percentage greater than 600, and that's what we're dealing with. I believe the Bucks are 11-6 at home. But don't quote me on that. I don't have it in front of me. But yeah, I think that's a good move.
All right, so Jim, you've given just one pick so far. Boston on the money line plus 111. I just gave the Milwaukee game first half over 107 minus 110. And is there anything else that you want to add on here, Jim?
No, I'm ready to move on to hockey.
All right. Well, I'm thinking about throwing on some of these the Philly first half or first quarter again. What's the argument against it? You think that Portland has to start at some point defending their home court?
They just they have to, and now they get Lillard back, who's been out for 2 games, and he is a real leader. Now, we know that they have Nurkic who can bang with Embiid, which helps them a lot. This Blazers team is so different from the team I've been watching for the last few years, and it's hard for me to figure them out.
Yeah.
And but I see. I mean, they're just not playing well. They're just not playing well. So I get it. I can see why you would want to fade the Blazers.
All right, I will hold off on that one, and I will just give the Milwaukee first half over 107 minus 110. Jimmy the Bag has given just one NBA pick, Boston money line plus 111, and I guess we can now move on to an NHL where Jimmy the Bag is coming off a big winning day. Now is in the black in NHL. Very nicely done, Jimmy the Bag, and I'm chugging along in NHL, still up double digits units, bunch of winners, bunches of losers every day, and just chugging along in NHL. In NHL today, we have let's see what we have here. Let me find the money lines. We do have some interesting stuff here, some massive money lines in NHL, which are always very eye-popping. I guess let's look at the Let's look at the first one. Tampa Bay, you had a great call on Carolina last night, which I did not have the balls to tail you on. I was leaning that way, just didn't have the balls. Now, Montreal is a plus 230 underdog to Tampa Bay. One way or another, that's got to be too big, and I was thinking about overs with this game. Jim, what do you think?
Interesting, and I just want to we have one more note that just happened, and it might push you towards making a move. Chris McCarthy just came in and said that Lillard is being downgraded to questionable.
Yeah.
And if he's not in the lineup, that line's going to change drastically.
Yeah. It's
but
just, and if he is,
we can still come back to it. We still got time, and it's a West Coast game, but that's just something I wanted to mention to you before we move forward. Yes, you know this. These are biases that get in the way of our gambling, but I don't think the Montreal Canadiens are a good team. When I was younger and I would go to Vancouver Canucks games, the few I got, the ones I got to go to, if the Canadiens were playing, there'd be more fans cheering for the Canadiens than were cheering for the Vancouver, and I developed a hatred for the Montreal Canadiens. It's a bias that I have, and it always pushes me to bet against them and to bet -1.5s against them. I was not entirely sure with Carolina, although they had been playing so good, and we couldn't let that 8-1 loss get in our mindset, get in the way.
Right.
But again here, Montreal's on the second half of a back-to-back. The Habs are bad in every facet of the game right now. They're really missing Shea Weber. The Lightning are better in every phase of the game. It's Tampa Bay's #1 ranked power play against the Habs' 28th penalty killing. You can keep going over that. Every single element of hockey, the Lightning are so much better than the Canadiens. So here, John he says Tampa will be rusty. I like teams that played last night. See, remember when they went to Vegas, which is their only loss in their last 10 games, we heard they were getting drunk in clubs, partying heavy, and they still came out to an early lead. They're just so good.
Yeah.
They are so good. I'm going to take the -1.5. I know what am I getting, even money?
Let's see. Let's find it. For Tampa Bay, plus the Greek has +115 and UH has +115, so a few places do have +115.
I just
You're going to take that one?
Absolutely. I just think the Canadiens are a bad hockey team. And we've got guys on our chat that are, on Christmas break. Mohamed Joma is a Habs fan, and he's not around right now. He's on a Christmas break, but I just think they're a bad hockey team, and Shea Weber is an enormously important part of their team, and he's missing. I was thinking about taking overs on this one. What do you think about that, Jim? That's interesting. I agree. That's interesting. Big Easy VZ, it caught my eye that he likes Tampa Bay and the under. Jay Peach has a 4-1 Lightning. My worry is that Montreal won't be able to score. They could only put up one goal in against Carolina, and now they're going against Vasilevsky, who has had a nice break. Now, how the 3-day break is going to affect some of these goalies, I don't know. Here's some interesting more stats. Vasilevsky's 14-1-1 at home. He should be accurately lined at -700 based on that. -240 is a steal. He says, Loshak, remember earlier this year when Kershaw should have been accurately lined? That's exactly what I was just going to say. That's what Cleet Blakeman's saying. Who said that? Cleet Blakeman. There you go. That's a commenter and a half right there. Cleet Blakely. Thanks so much for that comment. Blakeman, awesome. Blakeman. Yeah, no, that's such an interesting call. This is too easy for me. The Lightning are going to stomp on the Habs. Now, nothing is too easy in this, so I shouldn't say that. But okay, and I will. I was thinking about doing the first period over, or the full game over. I don't quite want to double up on it, but I will take the full game over here, over 5.5, just -110 at Pinnacle. I'm going to take the Montreal Tampa Bay over 5.5, -110, and definitely the first period over would also be a lean as well. But I'm going to hold off on that one. I'll just take the first period, the full game over. 5.5 -110, Montreal against Tampa Bay. All right, what else are you liking from today's card, Jim? I like a couple overs. The one I like best, how about I'll start there? I like the over 5.5 with Flyers at Panthers. Panthers have won 3 straight. James Reimer's playing well. And we talked about how he was going to start playing well after he got a few games in a row under his belt after Luongo got injured. He's now had 9 games under his belt. He's coming off a 1-0 shutout of the Senators. He's allowed 5 goals in his last 3 games. His numbers have improved. Still has 3.15 goals against average, 908 save percentage. Panthers have been off since Saturday. They now have 2 line scoring. They moved Bukestad up with Barkov and Huberdeau. I think that's such a great move. Bukestad's 6'6". Now, he's not like a big tough guy, but he can he can impose his will on defenders, and having a 6'6" guy in front of that is going to help Barkov and Huberdeau. He also has soft hands for a big man. They put Dadonov on the second line with Trocheck. Dadonov, Barkov, and Huberdeau have not really worked out all year. I think it's a good move, and I love Trocheck. Flyers have lost 3 of 4. Elliott will be starting tonight. Giroux has 14 points in his last 9 games. Another thing I like about overs is when you're dealing with 2 bad penalty-killing teams. Flyers are 29th in penalty killing. The Panthers are 19th in penalty killing. I like the over 5.5.
Yep, I took that one myself. That was an official pick. I mean, that was a bet for me. That was one I was planning on giving as an official pick. So I'm going to take that one along with you, Jim. So you're taking just the full game over, right?
Just the full game.
All right, over 5.5 minus 105 is the current best line at Pinnacle. I'm going to take the full game over 5.5 minus 105 and the first period over, which will be minus 113. Of course, 1.5 goals there. All right, now let's talk about another interesting game with a massive favorite line. That is Toronto at Arizona. Of course, Arizona on a back-to-back got a win at Colorado last night. Now they come in here, and the line's gotten bet down. Well, no, it's actually gotten bet up. It's now up to minus 200 at Bookmaker. A massive road favorite line here for Toronto, who was struggling leading up to the break. So obviously Arizona's bad. They're on a back-to-back. They're coming off a win. But Toronto, it's not like they were lighting things up before the break, and so now they're coming in here, and it's obvious why they would be a huge road favorite here. Curious line here, Jim, right?
You know, everything changed when Matthews came back. He came back for 1 game. Leafs snapped their 4-game losing streak. They're just a completely different team with Matthews in the lineup, and now he's back playing in his hometown. That's a big deal for him. I'm sure every article in the sports section in Phoenix was about Austin. And the Coyotes have won 2 of 3, and they showed a lot of heart coming back from a 6-2 loss at home to the Avs, and then coming back and then beating them 3-1 in Colorado last night. They are 0-5-1 on the second half of back-to-backs this year, and I have not got confirmation on who's in goal. I'm sure it's out yet, and I should probably check right now, but Antti Raanta looked very good last night, stopped 25 of 26 shots, stopped 13 in third period. If he goes back-to-back, should I let me just check right now. Because
I can check right now. Go on, do your research. I'll tell you right now, Jim.
If he goes back-to-back, I might even jump on the Coyotes with you. I do think we get a big, giant plus line on this team, and it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I was actually not going to take Arizona here. I was just marveling at the massive. No, Antti Raanta unconfirmed. No goalie details yet.
Yeah, because if it's Wedgwood, I'm not going to be comfortable. I think I'll just wait. I'll wait. If I was to take the Coyotes, what kind of line would I get? Is it a plus?
If you were, this is like that OJ. You know the OJ book. He was like, if I did it, and I'm not saying if Jimmy were to take the Coyotes, and he's not saying that he is. He's saying if he were to take the Coyotes, he would be getting a plus 170 line.
Plus 170, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm going to hold off. But if Ranta's coming right back in, I might jump on it and send it out as an official pick and tweet it out. But at this point, I'm going to leave it alone.
Okay, and what do you think about totals with Matthews back for Toronto? You think they're going to start going over, or do you think, because they were a sneaky good play on unders for a while, and I was on a bunch of those. What do you think about totals in general with Matthews back for Toronto?
They've not been scoring like they did in the first 15 games of the year. So I need to see. Matthews is the straw that stirs the drink, man. He's just and he's got 28 points in 27 games. He's not been that comfortable because he was dealing with a back injury, and I have a sneaking suspicion that the concussion. They were holding him out even longer to make sure his back was okay. As soon as he starts flying, the Leafs will start scoring again. They're not getting a lot of help. I mean, Mitch Marner I expected more from. Patrick Marleau is giving the leadership and scoring goals, but he's not getting assists. Van Riemsdyk is a guy I thought would score more goals. I thought this Leafs offense was going to be a little more dynamic than it is, but I think it's because Matthews has been out.
All right. Is there any other pick you want to give from today's card, Jim?
Yes.
Okay.
Some people wanted to talk about this Bruins-Capitals game. It's a very interesting spot. Both teams are on the second half of back-to-backs. I usually like taking overs in that situation. The Caps lost 1-0 in a shootout loss. And again, I think, after a not scoring a goal in 60 minutes, that some bounces will go their way. The Bruins just beat the Senators 5-1. The Bruins have lost 11 straight times to the Capitals, including twice this year. But they've won 5 straight. They're a very good team moving forward. 14-3-1 their last 18. We talked about the Marchand Bergeron-Pasternak line yesterday. They're still without Krejci. Khudobin gets a start for the Bruins. The Caps are 0-2-1 in their last 3, but they're a healthy squad. Holtby is back in net. The special teams continue to hold the Capitals back, 18th in power play, 21st in penalty killing. I like getting a plus 5.5 line on the over. Now, it has not been working for me, and when I've been doing this so far. I was going over my numbers, and I'm down units doing this, but I still think it makes sense. I'm going to take the over here at the plus line.
In the Boston-Washington game.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. That line will be plus 5.5, plus 113 is the best line right now at a bunch of places. BetOnline, Pinnacle, and a few others. And, of course, we don't use 5 dimes, but if you have 5 dimes, you go there. They have plus 118. So Washington over 5.5, plus 113. Jimmy the Bag, that is the line that you're going to be getting there.
That's great. And then this Blackhawks-Canucks is an exciting spot. A side note, so now that Crawford's out and he's been put on the injured reserve, we're going to see more of Anton Forsberg. They called up a 32-year-old journeyman named Jeff Glass. And Glass won gold for the World Juniors in 2005. That 2005 was a very, very special hockey team that Canada put together. He was junior hockey's goaltender of the year, and he's yet to play an NHL game. It's taken him this long to get up there. When Glass starts, that team will rally around him in an enormous way. So as soon as you see that Jeff Glass is starting for the Blackhawks, I say bet on them. Okay, great thing to look for, Jimmy the Bag. Then very quickly, Calgary is a team that's been bad at home, better on the road. Now they're going up on the road against San Jose, who's actually been winning this year. A little bit surprisingly, they're coming off of 2 nice wins at home. They've been a good team at home overall. But is this maybe a spot where we take Calgary? Do they have some sneaky value here? What do you think? I do think Calgary is sneaky value here, but I didn't have the balls to pull the trigger. Sharks are playing well without Logan Couture, which is surprising, and it's all because of Brent Burns. I mean, not all, but Brent Burns has been they're 9-3-3 in their last 15. Their power play has caught fire. They have a power play goal in 8 straight games. They're 13 for their last 38, and it's because of Brent Burns. 6 goals, 11 assists in his last 15 games. He's playing very well. They've now won 6 of their last 7 at home. Martin Jones is coming off a 2-0 shutout win over the Kings, and thank God he did, because he's been outplayed by Aaron Dell for almost 5 weeks now. Now, the thing that with the Flames, which I need to study more, but I don't know much about this rookie goalie they have in goal. This Czechoslovakian kid, he's looked very good in his 4 games this year. I believe 3 starts, actually. 3-1-0, 2.10 goals against average, .919 save percentage. They're getting Hamonic back from his groin injury. And Tkachuk has started to heat up. As soon as the Flames get scoring from Backlund and Tkachuk, take the pressure off of Goodrow and Monahan, they're going to find a lot of value. I kind of like the under here, but I was thinking about the under as well, but you don't really like that one? Well, I like it. I just don't like the minus that I'm going to get. San Jose has been a massive under-trending team on the year, of course, and the total right now for the under is not that bad. It's minus 117. That's not bad at all. I was thinking about taking Calgary on the money line, or maybe even going for it a little bit and taking Calgary -1 on a alternate puck line. You think that might be worth a shot? You think Calgary has the offense to be reliable to put up 3 goals if they need to get a puck line win here, or 2 goals? Let me take another look at their penalty killing. I'm surprised I didn't add that into my research, because that's such a key here when you're dealing with a hot power play to make sure that and I believe that their penalty killing is you know what? Suspect. I will take it. I'll take a shot with it. It's going to be a big underdog line, but I'm going to take Calgary -1. That combines their money line and an alternative puck line. And the money line for Calgary, best line right now, is plus 113 at BetOnline, sportsbetting.ag, and the alternative puck line I will use from Pinnacle, plus 301. So that's going to be a nice big underdog line there. Calgary -1, and again, that's plus 113 on the money line, plus 301 on the alternative puck line at Pinnacle. I'd also be leaning under and the first period under, but I guess I will hold off on that one for now. Maybe. What do you think, Jim? The under is very tempting. It's so tempting. I truly expected it to be minus 125 or worse. Because it's not, I have to take it. Maybe this is like with the Islanders-Buffalo game, where we expected the line to be a lot bigger on the over yesterday, and it wasn't, and the game went under. I mean, it was close, but the game went under. You know what? My hesitancy is that when I researched it 30 seconds ago, the Flames are 26th in the league in penalty killing. They're only 77 point something percent, very bad, and the Sharks are so hot on their power play. That would the only thing that would give me hesitation is that fact.
All right. Well, the line has gotten bet down. I am making Calgary -1 an official pick, and then I guess let's talk about the Vegas LA game. Unbelievable, right? We thought Vegas might go on the road and come crashing back down to earth at least a little bit. No way. They just kept on rolling, kept on trucking. Now their next game is against the Kings, who have been good, have been excellent at times this year. Very beatable though. Is that Vegas train going to keep on trucking here? Maybe just, especially as an underdog, take them anywhere, home, on the road, against anyone, here, there, +120, +140, +108 on the road, in Canada, at home, wherever. What do you think, Jim?
They're just playing so well. I'm going to get out of their way. I had some people messaging me today saying, well, what a big mistake I'm making financially, that all these guys, friends of ours, are making so much money. They're 9-0-1 in their last 10. James Neal, William Karlsson are now in the top 10 in goals. They're third in the league in offense. They're on the second half of a back-to-back after beating the Ducks in Anaheim 4-1 last night. They're now, listen to that, because I have been waking up so early to get all this work done, and I went to sleep when it was 1-0 Ducks. And I was like, okay, I think I'm in good shape here. They're now 9-8-2 when the opposing team scores first. I don't think I've ever read that seen a stat with a team with a winning percentage over 500 when they allow the first goal. The Kings are 2-3-1 in their last 6, averaging just 2 goals a game. They're having trouble scoring, but they're still first in goals allowed, first in penalty killing. Their last meeting against the Golden Knights, they lost 4-2 and were completely out-hustled. They were outshot 40-29. The Kings just out-hustle everybody. I can't take the Golden Knights here against this Kings team at home because they're just getting. It's just the line isn't right. What would I get right now
for LA? For LA, the line would be upper 130s. Book Bet Online has -135.
I mean, you would think
at some point.
Yeah, and I thought it was last night with the Ducks. I'm certainly not going to. I'm certainly not going to take the Kings.
You're not?
No.
At some point, they're going to lose a game. Unless they turn into the Columbus Blue Jackets of last year, which could happen. Is that what this team is? Are they the new Columbus Blue Jackets?
I don't see how this is happening. I just don't see how this is happening. I'm extremely impressed with this team. And I'm going to leave this game alone, but man.
I'm thinking about a first period under. What do you think about that? What's your take on Marc-Andre Fleury? Pretty decent right now, right?
He's playing exceptionally well.
And Jonathan Quick, good as ever, right?
And this team, the Kings have now shuffled all their lines to try and find offense. I don't think they're going to be able to find it. I mean, their strength will be their defense, and Doughty is an absolute beast.
All right, I'm taking that one. I'm taking the first period under Vegas and LA 1.5. It's just -103 at Pinnacle. Vegas and LA first period under 1.5 -103. Let me look at at what the full game under would be. It's would be just 5.5 -113. Very tempting there, Jim. What do you think?
Wow,
very tempting. I'm going to double up on this one. You think I'm crazy, but you think LA's going to start to figure it out offensively and start to become a dynamic, explosive offensive team in a certain way?
Under zero circumstances. I just don't see it. They're a big, slow team. They're going to be tough in a 7-game series because they're big and tough.
Right. Those are the kinds of teams that do well in the playoffs. Absolutely, absolutely. And it's the the big. All right, I'm going to take it. I'm taking it two ways. Vegas, LA. First period under 1.5 -103, and the full game under 5.5 -113. Is that right? Was that what I said? 5.5 -113. Vegas and LA 5.5 -113 at Pinnacle, and that's a market line actually most places. And the Greek has 115. So there you go. I'm taking it two ways. Vegas, LA first period under 1.5 -103, and the full game under 5.5 -113. What else did we not get to?
It's funny. My man Elio Rodriguez, he's done. He says, I'm never going to bet against Vegas, never. And then he says, Jimmy, I'm glad you're not going against that Vegas roll. I'm so sick of giving my money. It's unbelievable. Jin Rummy says, as the coach, got to give props to Gallant. Man, Gerard Gallant, I can't believe the Panthers fired him the way they did. He's just him and McPhee have just done an extraordinary job with this team.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so far, Jim has given in the NHL, Tampa Bay puck line +115, and the Florida game over 5.5 -105, and the Washington game over 5.5 +113. Just 3 plays from Jim, and I've given Calgary. I went out on a limb. I took Calgary -1 at a big underdog line. The Florida game over 5.5 -113. Over 5.5 -105, and the first period over -113. The Tampa Bay game over 5.5 -110. And the Vegas LA game under first period -103, and the full game under as well 5.5 -113. Anything else you want to add on here, Jim?
No, but no, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I'm not convinced I made the right move on the Bruins Capitals game. I sure like the way the Bruins are playing, and truly I thought with Capitals winning 11 straight times that I'd get a bigger number than plus. It's almost an average of plus 110, but that just goes to show you how well these Bruins are playing. And I expected the Ducks to do the same thing after dealing with all the adversity, all the injuries, to come back as a tight unit that's ready to go. And But the last time the Bruins played the Capitals, I watched that game and it was so intense. And those really intense, tight-checking affairs don't usually lean to higher scoring. But I'm going to stick to it.
Brandon Cummings says, I'm on the over, Loshak. If I win and you lose, I need a shout-out. I'm taking the over in the Kings-Knights game. 5-3 Knights. He predicts the score 5-3 Knights. That might be, he might be right here. This is not a great time of year to be taking unders. It's just, as you said, LA is so slow. Fleury playing great. Quick playing great, right?
Yeah, I love Brandon. And he always has great notes, great stats for us.
Big Easy V says best bet LA Kings. Am I on the wrong side here, doubling up on the LA under? The only way to play this, the only way that the Kings only know one way of playing, and that's just to shorten the ice, not allow spots. Now, that seems to be the way Vegas plays. They have this forecheck. Even Max was just talking about it. He was saying that, where is it? He was saying they have a zone that's very unorthodox that they play. And here comes Maxwell Smart saying Brandon Cummings knows what he's talking about. Well, that's not great. So a guy who's going against me is now endorsed by someone else as saying he's smart, right?
Oh, but Cleet Blakeman says Quick ain't giving up 4 goals, Loshak.
Right.
Big Easy Veezy says 3-1 Kings.
All right, I'm on it, and I will definitely go against Brandon Cummings, and I will give Brandon Cummings a big shout out tomorrow if it actually does go 5-3 Knights, then he'll get a full 30-second kowtowing on video. Then
absolutely.
So we'll see. All right, so I guess let's just review all the picks that we've made, review some comments, and then we can wrap this shit up. So once again, in college basketball, Jim gave Creighton plus 5.5 minus 106, Valparaiso pick 'em minus 106, Oakland minus 1.5 minus 106, and Northern Arizona plus 11 minus 101. In basketball, Jim gave just one pick, Boston on the money line plus 111. And in NHL, he gave 3 picks. The Washington game over 5.5 plus 113. The Tampa Bay puck line plus 115. And Florida over 5.5 minus 105. My picks for the day, I tweeted out all my college basketball picks, so I'm not going to go over the ones I tweeted. There was like 20 or 25 of them. I tweeted them all out. They're all on Twitter. Never will I ever delete a tweet ever. And I added on in college basketball one play in this show, Northern Arizona plus 11 minus 101. In NBA, I just went with one play, the Milwaukee game, first half over 107 minus 110. And in NHL, a whole bunch of plays. Calgary minus 1 at a big dog number. Tampa Bay game over 5.5 minus 110. The Florida game over 5.5 minus 105. And the first period over minus 113. And I'm going head to head with Brandon Cummings, regular viewer who supposedly knows what he's talking about, right?
He does.
And you told me that Maxwell Smart knows what he's talking about.
He does, yeah.
So you say Maxwell Smart knows what he's talking about. Maxwell Smart says Brandon Cummings knows what he's talking about. And Brandon Cummings says I'm on the wrong side of this Vegas-LA game. All right. I guess I'm out of excuses for why Brandon Cummings might be wrong here. All right.
Oh, wow. Jin Rummy says Fleury versus Quick. I'm almost willing for under 5 at plus 163.
I mean, probably if you want to take the under, you're probably better off taking under 5 at a big dog number than taking just a 5.5, which we don't do in this show. Buy and sell, runs and goals.
But then Brandon says I put a half unit on the over only because Loshak disagrees. You can't discredit the master.
I would say I'm master-ish in college basketball, and especially college basketball totals. But when it comes to plays like this in NHL, I'm an experienced schmo, just like, which is I'm smarter than a schmo who is completely lost.
The NHL is very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very difficult, and I know I'm in the black now, but I don't even think, am I 1 unit or am I fractions?
0.8 units, 0.8 of 1 unit. Yeah. So once again, just to finish up the pick so everyone knows, I'm on the Vegas LA first period under 1.5 minus 103 and the full game under 5.5 minus 113. Listen, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. This is how sports betting goes. You make your picks, you give your analysis, and there's a lot of losing, and you're hoping to come out, 53, 54% winners, 47, 46% losers, and then you're golden. If you can do that long-term over a big sample size, you're really golden. And that's what we're trying to do here for the most part. We've roughly done that, Jimmy the Bag, in this show.
We have. And I mean, your college basketball numbers are unbelievable.
Yeah. And that's not the first time this has happened in my life. So hopefully I'll be able to continue it and keep it going for sure. Shout out to Native Queen, who always reminds me to stay positive with my words. Absolutely true. What your words are what your thoughts are. What your thoughts are what your actions are. And what your actions are what you are.
Wow.
Right? I'm sure Native Queen would agree with that. All right, that might be wrong, but I'm sure Native Queen would agree with that.
What's happened to Omanaman? Where did he go?
And where did Omanaman go? He would like that one. All right, I guess that's about it. Jimmy and I, of course, are only doing 1 show a day right now, so everything's a little bit jam-packed into itself. But on starting next Wednesday, there'll be no show on Monday. Then we'll do 1 show on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, we'll start off once again doing 2 shows a day. So that means that the costs for our haters who buy likes are going to double starting Wednesday. Double the price for all the hates on 2 shows. And that's about it. And we'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock, right, for the Friday card.